Today's the day. We have another installment of No Days Off featuring coaches around the area. I took a different spin on that for this week. However, we're still heading out to the football field because 23-year-old Olivia Passy was named Director of Operations for the Falcons this past offseason. A mentee of head coach Scott Loeffler while he was at Boston College, the BC grad received a phone call from her former head coach asking her to take a high-intensity and very stressful job. Passy accepted, and now she's here in Ohio making history with Bowling Green. Olivia, how does a 23-year-old become Director of Ops for a Division I football program?
I think being at BC with Coach Loeffler, he saw that I was, able to be thrown into situations pretty young, and I got a lot of experience there as a student. So I think to him, my age didn't really matter, and he just needed somebody that he knew and trusted and could do the job, and brought me out here.
Mm-hmm. You get the call from Coach Loeffler. What's your first reaction?
When he got the job, I had poked through the BG staff directory essentially to see what kind of position structure they had and if there was a spot for me. And when I saw that there was no assistant director for football operations, I figured, okay, I'm probably not going to get this call, and it's fine. And I was super happy at BC, so it would have been totally fine for me to stay. So when he called, I think that was my first thought. I felt like I was skipping a step, which definitely made me a little bit nervous. And I talked to my family. That was my first instinct, and they had the same sort of reaction. But then I think as it sunk in, I realized, okay, maybe this is something that I could do.
So you heard Coach Loeffler's coming to BG. You automatically looked up job openings?
Yeah, he and I always were both very intense, and I didn't work with him directly really at all at BC because obviously he was on the coaching side and I was on the operations side, so we didn't really overlap much, but everybody was like a family at BC, so he was definitely somebody that I knew really well. And I think that's part of being young and working in football is it's never good to always look for your next step, but it is something that's in the back of your mind, and it's kind of just something I explored every time a coach would go to the next step. So, yeah.
I completely relate.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to jump the gun, obviously, but just good to explore your options and see where you might fit at different places. So.
Yeah. You worked on the operations side with BC, so how much were you aware of what this job title would entail here at BG?
I learned tremendously from our director of football ops and assistant director of football ops at BC. So just observing them and being able to work with them throughout the 3 seasons that I was there, that's what sort of allowed me to get a glass door look into something that I maybe could be doing. Wow. Yeah.
Have you any regrets yet?
No regrets. No regrets. I'm the first person to admit that I'm homesick. I had never been to Ohio before I came out here.
Not very many people come to Ohio.
No, and it's great, and I've loved it. And it's been a really easy transition, but it's definitely the biggest adjustment, I would say. But by no means do I have any regrets, and I don't think it's ever good to regret anything because even if this turned out to be, a bad experience, you learn from any experience. And it's by no means a bad experience. Right. It's been great, but yeah.